It's Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, and it is the month of June, the month of UFO disclosure. But that is actually not what I'm going to be talking about today. However, it leads in to the content of today's story and a series I'm going to be doing. See, about a year ago, I had my very first UFO sighting, and I had contact with non-human intelligence. 2 weeks straight of communication. And the experience changed my life. It changed the way I saw reality. And I tell you, I don't need the media's permission to believe in this stuff. I don't need anyone's permission because I felt it and I saw it. And if you want to, I made some videos that were fresh from that experience, so they're on my channel. Even the little bit of footage I got of the UFO. But at the time, again, such a paradigm-shattering experience after having that show up in my life, I really sought to understand it. And then again, kind of just getting to a place to where my brain, I felt like Neo in the Matrix, where all this information was coming to me. I wanted to understand, and I wanted to keep communicating with whatever that being was. And so I sought help. There's a therapy known as color puncture, and there is a practitioner. Her company is called Soul Vessels. And I went to Yvonne for some energy work, for some color puncture, which has been fantastic. Still do that to this day. And one of the therapies she uses in tandem with the color puncture is crystal therapy, crystal healing. And I was never a big crystal guy either. I noticed them in esoteric shops, but I wasn't drawn in particular to buy crystals or really to even go that route. But she used the crystals in the therapy, and one of the concerns I had was manipulation by an intelligence, by something dark, something evil. I mentioned in those videos that what communicated with me was benevolent. They didn't seem to have any interest in hijacking my consciousness, but there were moments where I would feel just shots of cold through my body and then like convulsions, and that did not feel good. I did feel sometimes when something else was trying to get into me. And so when we were doing the crystal therapy, the first crystal that Yvonne used with me was Shungite, Russian Shungite, and she gave me some for protection. And then as I went down this road, I was drawn to go out and get a crystal of my own. Now, what I have on today is not Russian Shungite. This is black obsidian. But if you ever watch any of my videos, the first video that I start to use a crystal in, the crystal is Russian Shungite. And as I've continued to go down this path, and again, I don't claim to be an expert on crystals. Aubrey, you are a crystal healer as well, so if you ever are watching one of my videos, feel free to chime in because you do it for real, and your knowledge is going to far exceed anything I'm saying here. And if you want to flesh out any details, feel free to do that in the comments. But what I want to talk about is the relationship to crystals. That piece of Shungite. I remember the holistic health practitioner Paul Chek talking about communicating with rocks. And now I know what he means. There's a living consciousness that is in elementals, that's in rocks, that's in crystals. And another practice I got into. I know I probably sound like I'm fucking going all over the place, but there's just so much here. There's so much in this energetic realm. But I got into remote viewing, and I start again. Everything kind of goes back to this ET experience, this non-human intelligence. One of my mentors was into remote viewing, and I tried it before. Didn't do very well with it the first time around, but I felt called to go back, because I felt maybe this is a way that my consciousness can communicate with us on a regular basis. So my Shungite crystal, one day I was going to my work and training some clients there, and I brought that crystal in with me. Now, that crystal, like my necklace, had fallen, and so the fixture that held the crystal in place had come loose. So every time I put the crystal back, it was still very loose. So that particular day, I was going in, and it was really rainy, nasty, and I went in to do a session, and when I was done, I kind of got into a heated conversation with someone, and I got distracted after that heated political conversation. And when I came home, I noticed my crystal was gone, and I couldn't find it. And that crystal was very special to me, but it kept falling out of the fixture that was holding it. So what I came to know was that this crystal wanted to go somewhere else. So I made a promise. I said, if I can find this crystal, if I can connect with it, then I'm going to take it back to that crystal shop and just give it back. Not even ask for a refund, just give it back, because if I can find it, then that means it's meant to go back, and there's somebody else from that shop that needs it more than I do at that time. So that night, I did some RV work before I went to bed, and I had a dream. And in my dream, I saw that crystal, and it looked like it was on asphalt. It looked like it was in black. And the next day, I said, maybe if I can go back to that parking lot, maybe that crystal was calling to me there. And I went, and again, this is a black crystal, so the chances of me finding it, and it was raining, torrential rain, the chances of me finding it the next day are very slim. And so I went back to the parking lot, and I felt like a magnetic pull in a direction. I just kind of sat there, and I followed that, and the crystal was there. It called back to me. And I was so happy to find that crystal again, because that's a special crystal. I was tempted to keep it, but I remembered my promise, and I took it back to the shop, and I gave it back. And the person there said, yeah, I can feel this. It wants to go back. It wants to go somewhere else. So these guys, they have a consciousness. There's an energy in there that communicates to us on a very subtle level. So once you get in tune with that, it's quite a magical experience. So I've got a bunch of crystals now, but I'm going to do a series of videos. I'll put them out like once a week in addition to the other stuff I do on my crystals, the special ones, the ones that really talk to me, because I have a few that I've got just some very special connections with. And I hope you guys enjoy it. This is just something I find fascinating, something I never knew was possible. And it's just, again, with these crystals, I don't really have an end game with them. Like, I don't swear by them, but it's just, I feel there's something there. There is a pulse here that's been very special, very, very special part of my life in the past year. And I'm thankful for that. That's all I got for today. I will see you on the other side. Class dismissed.